Hello everyone. So welcome to another stage in CorelDRAW. So today we are just going to be discussing about how we can design this logo and convert it to this mockup. Alright guys, so stay till the end of this video and learn the step-by-step guide on how you can actually create a logo. So let's dive in. All right, so now first we are going to bring in our text, which is the DOG. Now, after bringing in our text, now we would now like to think of a font to use. So now this was the font I actually used. This is the font I'll be using now. Times New Roman. Good, then I'm just going to make it bold. Good. So now this is the font I'm going to be using. So what do I need to do now? They are joined together, so I need to break them and set it the way I want it to be. Now to break is just Control K. Good. Now when you click Control K, it's going to be separate like this. All right, so believing you've done that, now it's now time for us to arrange this. So I'm just going to click on this. Now while moving this, I'm going to hold my control. Now why am I holding my control? So that it's going to maintain the same position. But if I take my hand off the control, it can actually move somewhere else. So I'm just going to hold the control and then I'll move it this way. It's going to just be like this. Good. Then I'll now move the G. I'll also hold my control and move the G. Now they can actually touch each other. Okay. I'm just going to take this one back a little. Alright, I'm actually trying to maintain this size here. So trying to maintain it here. Good. Now after doing this, what do we need to do next now? I'm going to be cutting I'll be using the D to cut the G so as there's going to be a spacing there. So before we do that, we need to convert all of these to curves. How do we do that? We just highlight all of them and then you can simply click on Ctrl Q on your keyboard, or you right click, you see convert to curves. Now you see the shortcut beside it, Ctrl Q, then you just click on it. Now we've converted it to curves. Now how do we know we've converted it to curves? When you are done with that, just come up here, you will see these icons. Now when you see this, just know that you've converted them to curves. Now what do I need to do next? I'm going to use the contour now to create another layer for the D. Then I'll use that layer to cut out the G. Now what do I mean? Let's do it. Just come here where you have the shadow tool, click there, you see the contour inside, click, then come on the D, then click and drag up. Now if you're dragging it up, it doesn't work, just click and drag it down. Either way it's going to work out. All right, so I'll just leave it this way. Good. Then what do I need to do now? I'm going to break it. Control K to break. Now I'm having the D and the other layer for the D. Now this is it. Let me just give it this color so I can actually see it. Good. Then this is the other one. So now this, I'm going to bring it to the front. After bringing it to the front, I'll use it to cut out the G. Now how do I mean by bringing it to the front? Just simply right click on it. You see order, come to the front of page, click on it, or the shortcut is Control Home, then just click on it. Now it's now in front of the G. So I'll click on this, hold my shift key and click on the G. Good. Then I'm now going to cut it, which is this, to simplify. Just come up here, you see simplify, then you just click on it. Now it has, so I can now delete the D. I do not need it again. Now this is it. So we're actually progressing. So now what do we need to do now? We now want to kind of like make the O look like it's locking in between the D and the G. How can we do that? First, what I do is I just convert this, just remove the color and give it an outline color. So I want to work with my outline colors now. Good. Then I'll just come straight to my crop to here. I have this visual segment delete. That is what I'll be using to delete some of the lines. Now I'll delete this. I'll delete this. Good. Now it's looking like it's on top and the D is underneath. So this part now, I'm going to make the O go under while the D should be on top. Now, what do I mean by the O going under? That means I'll be deleting this one and this one. Now you see this. So this is now how this part is looking. Then now let's move to the other part. Since it's coming under here, I want it to come on top of this. So I'm deleting this and this. Good. Now I want it to come under this. I'll be deleting this and this. So now when it's coming under here, it's now on top of this. So you can see it. It's now looking like they are all locked together. So I can now go back to my pick 2. Now I'm having this here. All right, so now with this we can now give this a color and put in the color we want. So to give it a color, I'll just come straight to my smart fill. You have a smart fill here. You click on a smart fill, then you can give them a color. Now one amazing thing about the smart fill is when you're giving it a color, it does not just give it a color, but it also creates its shape. Now let's just give it a color. Click on all of them. Good. Now if you've done all of this, now you just click on this, hold your shift. Now why are we holding our shift? So as we can select more than one shape. We'll click on the next one. Okay, we have these two, we have this, we have this. Now let's bring it out. Good. Now this is our logo. So we can now do away with this if we do not want to use it again, but I'm just going to leave it here. Then this now is what we'll be working with. Okay, so now it's now time for us to start fitting in the colors. Now I'll come to my interactive fill. I want to use a gradient color on all of it. Then this is what I'm going to be doing now. Now, how do we actually work with the colors? Now, where you find the D going underneath, that part should be darker than the other part. What do I mean? This part here, where the D is going under the O, should be darker, while this part should be lighter. So now I'm just going to have something like this. Good. So now I'll come here. I want to be using the blue. I'll be using the lighter color of the blue. Just come up here. Good. Then I'll click on this, come here. I want to be using the darker color. Now how can I actually get a darker one that is going to blend with this? I'll just use this tool, click on this to select this color, then it's going to come out. Then I just make it darker. Good. Now we are going to do the same thing for the rest of this, but how do we do that? Instead of selecting the color again, we're just going to click on this, right click, hold and drag on this. Now when you see this round stuff, you just leave it there and you see copy fill here. So you can do the same thing for the rest of them, and then we are now going to rearrange the colors. Just right click, drag to that place and copy fill there. So just right click, drag there, and then you copy fill. Good. Now we've done this. So now it's now time for us to now rearrange the colors. So we just click on it, come to my interactive fill. Now it's looking like this. All I just have to do now is to come here, click on the reverse. It reverses it. So this is okay. Then this now I'm going to reverse this one. Good. It's going to look like this. Then for this, I'm going to rearrange it this way. Then I'll just reverse it. Good. Now this is my logo. All right, so now we're actually now done with this, where we just created our logo and then we gave it this. All right, so one last thing, when we are done, you just need to remove the outline color by highlighting all of it and come to this where you have this red strike and right click, then you remove the outline color. Now this is our logo. All right, so now how can we now convert this to a mockup? Now this is where Photoshop comes in. Now we can actually use Photoshop in creating a mockup. So how do we do that? Now first we are just going to let me create another one here, copy. Now I'm going to making this one black, totally black. Good. Now I'm going to be working with this. So now let's export this. We're exporting just this. Now Control E to export. Good. Now you see the export here. So this is the logo, dog logo. Then I'm just going to be exporting it to the desktop. I'll be exporting it as PNG. I do not want any background. That is why I'm using PNG. Then I'll click on export. Now we just wait for the preview here. Good. All right. So this is how it's actually looking like. So that means what we are supposed to do now is we are supposed to have selected only what we highlighted. Now we do not want all of this for the mockup. We just want this. So that means we are to now select just this one, the DOG here, the dark one. So we're just going to cancel this now. Go back there, Control E, export. Now you come here, selected only, and click on this. So this is how you can now select a particular shape or object out of so many in a document in CorelDRAW. All right, so you click on this selected only, and then you can now export it. Now check this out. See this? Now it's just the DOG. So after this, now you just come here and click on OK. Good. So now it has been exported. All right, so now what do we need to do now? We are now going to be going to our desktop. Now this is it here. Now after exporting it, it's now time for us to move ahead to the mockup where we'll be using it in Photoshop. So we just come to the logo mockup here. This is the zip file. So I'm going to be dropping this zip file on my description where you can actually download it. So I'm just going to double click on it to open it. Okay, and this is the logo mockup here. Photoshop, just double click for it to open. All right, so it's opening. Good. So now this is the mockup. So now what do we need to do here now? First, we need to remove this sample text. We do not want to use this. Just come here. This is sample text and click on this. Then it's going to remove this. Now, after removing that, it's now time for us to place our logo that we did in CorelDRAW. So you just come here, double click on this. Now it opens this. You come straight to your file. You go to place embedded. Click on it. Then you can now select your logo here and click on place. Good. So now this is our logo. So what do we need to do here now? We need to reduce this logo. Just reduce it and then place it how you want it to be. And then we click on OK. So now what we'll be doing next now is to remove this. We do not want this. Just click on this and it's gone. Now for us to now convert this to look like the mockup, you just click on Control S to save this. Now when it saves it, it converts it to the mockup. So now let's just give it a little time. It's saving it. Good. So now when it's done saving, it actually brings this up. So now this is our mockup. So this is how we can actually, from CorelDRAW, after designing it, you bring it straight to Photoshop and convert it to a mockup. So now if you want to export it, you can simply just come to File, you go straight to Export, and then you click on either the Export as or the Quick Export as PNG, whichever one. So this is the file name, logo mockup. You can save it as all files and the rest of that. Okay, so that is how we can actually now export this. Okay, so now this is how we can design our logo with CorelDRAW and convert it to a mockup in Photoshop. All right, so this is where we are going to stop for today. So do not forget, continue to follow me up for more, continue to share this video, and do not forget to drop the comment in the comment section. All right, so like I said earlier, I'm going to be dropping the mockup file in the description or the comment section below, so you can easily download it. And if you do not have Photoshop, or you find it difficult to install Photoshop, or even that of CorelDRAW, you can send me DM on my X account, which was formerly the Twitter account. Then I can give you a guide on how you can install it for free. All right, so see you guys now next class, and stay safe.